Welcome to Creativity with Kim, where everyone is welcome and creativity is for everyone. Today we're going to be making some tags. So 3 different tags, and we're going to be using the Holiday Special stamp set. And I'm just going to use the All is Bright on there. And then I'm going to be using the light bulbs from the November stamp of the month called Created to Shine. So here's a tag that I started the other night and I watercolored it in. And I did the writing in with the watercolor paints as well. So I stamped that one the same way I'm going to stamp another one of them. So I've used the Tags and Tabs thin cut set, and I'm going to use some of the star confetti because we're going to add some to this tag. I found it was a little too plain. I wasn't happy with it when I finished watercoloring it. I'd also inked the edges of it with Harbour ink. So I'm just adding some of my blue mono liquid glue from Tombow and just little dots. And then I'm using my pickup tool to pick up some of those stars. And I decided I wanted a few more down by the Be Merry sentiment. So really easy to do. Those stars are really fun. So that's the loose star confetti. And we have it in silver and gold. And so you'll find the link in the description box and all the supplies that I used for everything in there. So we're going to create a shaker card next using the curved tag. And we're going to stamp some lights on it, just like I had done on the other one. So I'm just going to arrange them. I have previously done stamp surgery and cut them apart. So there is a video already up on my channel showing you how I did that. And so I'm just picking which ones I want and just lining them up where I want them on this tag, and then I'll pick them up with my block. So a little bit of fussing around, figuring out how exactly I wanted them. And then I'm going to stamp them in the intense black ink. And that's exactly what I did for that other tag, is I stamped it in the intense black ink. The reason behind using the intense black ink is because I used watercolor, or I'm going to use shimmer brushes in this case on this one, and I don't want the ink to smear. So you want to make sure that you're using an ink that doesn't smear. So now to make the shaker portion, I'm going to use a craft knife or X-Acto knife to cut out the bulb inside of that bulb. And I had created a shaker card as well, which you can find on my channel as well. But I really like that concept and thought it would be fantastic for a tag. My daughter saw this tag and she's like, "Mom, I want that." So I'm coloring in the light bulbs with the Lagoon Shimmer brush and then the red shimmer brush. And I love that look. Just kind of a Christmassy look. And then we're going to be matting it behind, putting another tag underneath it. So I want to use Distress Oxide and create a background for that one that's going to go underneath. So I used the peeled paint, Distress Oxide, and I'm just getting some water on there to cause some oxidization. And I used some clear shimmer as well. So just seeing what it's going to look like. And then we're going to build that. We're just going to ink around the edges again with the peeled paint and my mini blending tool. Just kind of adds a little bit there as that piece is drying. Then I decided I wanted to use the sentiment All is Bright, and I don't want the star on there. So I am doing stamp surgery again and cutting off the star, and I can piece it together like a puzzle back on my block to stamp something else. So it's all good. It'll easily line up. So putting it on my block and then getting my foam underneath. Oh, I forgot to get my foam, so I got it. And I'm going to stamp that in Scarlet ink so that it kind of matches a little bit. I thought that's nicer than black. It just gives it another pop of color. So now I'm just going to get my Close to My Heart adhesive in a moment after I cut some acetate, and I'm just using some old packaging I have. We also carry acetate, foam and acetate for shaker cards, but because this was a small one, an odd one, I just grabbed some old packaging I had on hand, and I just used my dot adhesive and put that around there, and it was on there pretty strong. And then I've got my 3D foam tape, so I'm using the thicker stuff, and I'm just framing out a window right around that piece that I've cut out. Now, I am going to make sure that I also use my anti-static pouch around the inside of that window, because if you don't, the little bits of confetti stick to it and then it doesn't shake as well. So I'm just adding foam to the rest of it so that I can easily stack it later. There, I've got the anti-static just putting in there, and then I just rubbed the little bit that was sitting on the acetate out. And I'm putting in some of the silver star confetti. What we had used on the other one, we're using inside the shaker. And I found I had a little too much. So I was just kind of seeing how it was. And I'm removing all my foam and making sure all my stars are inside there. And then I'm just lining it up with my background piece. So just carefully doing that and then pressing it down. And look at that. Isn't that nice? You can shake it and it'll move. And it's really fun. So then I am going to add some twine to this. So I'm just using some baker's twine again, some black and white stuff that I had on hand in my stash. I think it's good to always use up your stash. Cleaning up my thing. And then I popped back in that piece that I had cut out just so that I could do some splattering. I didn't want it to go on the acetate window, so I popped that in there. And I added some clear, some lagoon, and some of the red. And then I realized after I shot this video that I forgot to pull out the part that I had in there. So there are still shots with the white piece pulled back out with the splatters on it and everything. So you'll get some good photos of that at the end of this video. And now we're going to do a reindeer card. So I'm using the inside portion that can be stamped in those lights. I'm using it with Toffee ink and I'm stamping Rudolph and his two friends. And I had done a card like this as well, which was a fun one. It's kind of quirky and easy to do. Anyone could do it. You could even take your kids' fingers and do this. And so I'm just drawing antlers here on it. I just love this one. It's just such a fun one, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I draw stick people. I'm not an artist at all. So this is a perfect type of card for me. So I'm drawing in those antlers, and then I'm going to add in some eyes on my reindeer, and I'm just drawing them in, and then I'm going to grab my white gel pen and put some white in their eyes, and then I'll go back in after once it dries with my black journaling pen. But I'm going to give, not Rudolph, but the other two, some bow ties. So I'm just drawing some triangles on either side. And then I'm also going to write my sentiment on here. So I wrote, wishing you a merry little Christmas. And I just kind of went around the edges and then added some little lines. And at first I wasn't quite sure how I liked that, but it turned out good. And then I just added some little lines to dress it up a little bit. So I'm going to color in their bow ties with the red and the Lagoon Shimmer brush. And then, it had seeped out a little bit, so I fixed it up with the journaling pen, just going around it a little bit more. And I'm adding in those pupils for their eyes now. And then we need to give them, dress up their ties as well as Rudolph's nose. So I've got my clear loose gems for their ties, and I've got a candy apple red gem for Rudolph's nose, which I think is just so cute. The dimension it adds is really something. So I'm using my pickup tool again, and then I've got my Oynx liquid pearls that I'm using for their noses, and I'm just going to tap that down, and there you get a cute look at that. Isn't that cute? And then I'm going to add some of the black and white twine to this one as well. So these are some really fun, easy tags that you can make, and you'll find all the products that I used in the description box, as well as a little bit about them. So I hope that this inspires you. I'll also put the links to the videos that I made cards that were similar to these as well. So you can go find those if you want to make cards that are like this, or if you want to make the tags. I hope this was inspiring to you and that you get creative. You dig out some paper and you dig out some stamps and you have fun. So have a great day. And if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And I'd appreciate if you subscribe to my channel. And if you don't want to miss anything, make sure you hit that notification bell. Have a great day and God bless. Bye.